All right, what's going on, guys? Trader Kaz here, and this is another Bitcoin update video. I might also talk about, we might look at some Forex pairs. I also might do that in a separate video a little later today. I haven't fully done my weekend analysis, only on a few of the pairs, so I might save that for in a couple hours from now or so. But we'll start with the Bitcoin. I think we'll do like a full top down from here. So let's see. I mean, the past couple days, I think since I recorded my other video, I think that was probably on Friday. Today's Monday. There hasn't been a ton of movement, but we'll zoom out and see what we got going on. So the main thing that I'm watching on the higher time frame, and we'll do 3 days, so there's a little more info, is this channel. We've been in this downtrend since July. So what's that, 8 months now or so? And we just haven't been able to break this downtrend. And so clearly, since we're towards the top of the channel, I would say that I favor shorts. I mean, not in the middle of nowhere, but I don't have any reason to believe that this won't come down here and just stay within this channel. Obviously, it won't happen just like that, but Bitcoin has not proved anything to me to make me think that this is breaking out of our downtrend. Now, if we do, then we can start looking for some big longs, like flip 8,500. That's good confluence, and then you guys know I'm watching 9,500 as our major high time frame market structure level. And if we do break that, I don't think it's crazy to think we go to around 14K. That might be crazy to think about right now, but here's the first step: break 8.5. Then if we get above 9.5, I don't see why we wouldn't, because there would be, I mean, obviously there are other resistances in the way, but we would have a change in market structure, a change in trend. And think about, like, if it does do this, sorry, it's getting messy now, we'll have a really nice bottoming pattern here, into high time frame support, which is like this level. And so that could be our bottom before the next leg, and that's entirely possible. But, and this is a big or a major but, I don't want to, try to pick my words wisely. I don't want to assume that too early, right? So while we're still in here, before we have broken resistances, what is stopping us from hitting this upper resistance and curling over? Maybe we'll see a bounce there, lose that, and maybe this just goes back down and this nice little pattern isn't our low. I think that's possible. I want to be bullish on Bitcoin, but when I try and look at this chart objectively, it's like, what has this proven to me that makes me think it'll flip? And the answer is nothing. Like, obviously we've had some nice runs, we've had some good daily candles in here, but it hasn't shown me, like, I would need it to get above 8.5K to start thinking about some big longs, and then, like I said, 9.5 for really big longs. But that's just me repeating myself. So bottom line is, with where we are at daily resistance, all right, that black horizontal is daily resistance. Then we have this downtrend resistance. With where we are at, I don't have any reason to believe that it's going to break through until it does. And then my assumption is wrong. I wouldn't call it a prediction. I try and stay out of the business of predictions because I just think they're guesses more than they are predictions. And so if it does break out, then great. I'll be happy. I want to be bullish. I want Bitcoin to go up. It's good for spot holdings. It's good for the industry. It's good for whatever. But until I'm convinced that that's going to happen, I don't want to get too excited. So, with that being said, we can start to zoom in a little more. I think that pretty much covers it. So we've got our yearly open still. We've got our December open. I'm going to make this one a little skinnier because it's not the current monthly open. Current monthly open is the same as the yearly, so I don't need a specific, let's see, open 7163. Yeah, obviously. So it's the same one, so we don't need a specific line for that. We have a new weekly open, though. Oh, yeah, and we can talk about the weekly candle briefly. It was a good weekly candle. Looking at this candle specifically, just the candle, that is a bullish candle, right? But you bring in context and you can have bullish candles and then have a bearish one right after it. So it's not like, oh, bullish candle, we're going up from here. So while it is a bullish candle, we're still at resistance. And so there's not a ton to take away from that. But we had a strong week. We had a strong week last week. So we now have a new weekly open. We are trading below it. It's right here. Mark that. And that's the same as the daily open because we're still at that same day. So for me to get short, I would love to see like a quick move above there, then a breakdown, or even a quick move above these ones with a breakdown, and those would be two opportunities to short. And then on the long side, I think if we're grinding up here, get a nice little reclaim of that, you could long it, but since we're only like $200 from higher time frame resistance, I probably wouldn't. I'll probably save the majority of the long calls for if we get a nice drop or if we break resistance. So right now, primarily, I would like to look for shorts, but that can change if we get above here or if we drop really far. Then we could start looking for the other positions, right? Obviously, my what I'm looking for doesn't need to stay the same, but I would want to see us bounce at the December Open, right? Because that has been a really nice dynamic support throughout this whole thing. Rejected. Small little rejection, broke through, and now we didn't quite get the retest there. Oops. So if we do fully get that, I think that's a decent opportunity for a long. Whether that be a longer term long, I wouldn't bank on that, but it is possible. So, like the way I would want to play that is, it breaks down here, right? We break down to the December Open. Maybe we're in a short. We take some profit there, and if we enter a long position, I would want to scale out accordingly and trail my stops up because I don't think it would go higher than like 8.1 wherever we break down from, and then probably continue down. So I wouldn't make the claim that, oh, we just caught the last dip before we go crazy. I mean, that could happen, and if it does, great. Like, we'll be trailing our stops up, and if it just blasts through resistance, we have a killer long entry. But that's not my main priority. So yeah, if it breaks down to around 7.5, we can look for a long. Or if it breaks above here, we can look for a long. And like I said, for shorts, if we get like some early pump this week and it sells off pretty quick, like, let's see. Go 2 hour. So we have resistance right here. This is the last spot that buyers, I like when these are gray. This is the last spot that buyers stepped in. It's not dark enough. Bear with me. This is the last spot that buyers stepped in before this sell-off, right? And they stepped in a, like, it started to dump off. They were able to pump it up, and then they just couldn't hold on anymore. And we just barely missed that, as you can see. I don't know. I mean, that's not incredibly significant. Like, if you zoom in, it tagged this one, and so it just depends how you look at it. So I wouldn't take too much away from that. But I do think it's possible that we pump up here, get rejected, and like on an hourly close, we could short it, and then hopefully pretty far down. And if you can get in a good position size and you're trading on like BitMEX or Bybit or Prime, where your account is in Bitcoin, if you can catch a good enough short, your USD value of your account as well as your BTC value of your account will go up. Both of those can go up when Bitcoin is going down. So that would be pretty convenient. Or another scenario I'm watching, we have this resistance right here, which I think we just barely tagged that. Depends how you want to draw it. Let's zoom in. Yeah, so we just barely touched it. I like viewing it as just that black line instead of the box, but I could see another sweep into that resistance. Like, I don't want to rule that out. So maybe we get something like this, well, I shouldn't draw it on the daily because then it looks like it takes longer to play out. But if we do get some scam pump here, but then like the daily or 4-hour closes back below our resistance and our trendline resistance, I think that's an easy short. Like, sweep those highs, that's an easy short. And then we essentially catch the top. So sweep those highs, break back below, or sweep these. I mean, I'm kind of waiting to see where sellers step in. So if there's any bounce with a really strong rejection, that's where I will start to be interested, and I want it to be somewhere where we can clearly define our risk. And then targets are the December open, yearly open, and if Bitcoin really does start nuking, which I mean, it's possible. We're at high time frame resistance, then I would want to keep a percentage of that short open for quite some time. So I think that pretty much sums up the Bitcoin update video. And then I think I will record a different one on Forex either today or tomorrow. As you guys know, I don't usually trade Mondays, just because I like to let the first day of the week play out before taking too many positions in Forex. So with that being said, I might record it after the Monday close, so then we'll have our Monday ranges formed and all that stuff, and we can have some specific plans laid out for what we want to do in Forex this week. But I think it'll be a good week. Hopefully we get a nice swing trade locked and loaded with Bitcoin. So let me know if you guys have any questions, but that pretty much sums up the rest of this video. So I'll talk to you guys later.